everyone receives is a reflection of it.
So what if you are able to witness multiple realities all at the one single moment in time? But what if you're not witnessing it, but observing it by hearing? Is that possible? Is it plausible? The mind is capable of many things, and I think the idea that it is able, especially in heightened sense of paraphernalia use or mental illness or any of the so-called ideas of the mind that doctors don't quite know. Like mental illness is not necessarily that. It's something that we don't understand. So there are lots of people that are afraid of certain things, or if it's bipolar, you're labeled as that. I remember listening to the radio and actually hearing stuff on the radio that was so close to home. I'll tell you an example. I was listening to the radio. I pulled up to a friend's house. I pulled into the driveway and I was playing some music, and then on the radio, it's a song or a word, whether I heard it or it was real, it doesn't matter, but it talked about a black cat being on the roof. And lo and behold, where I was at, a black cat was walking down the roof. Another time, I was at a so-called public holiday, a public event, fireworks. Got into a bit of trouble with a certain character. It was not a good fight. Again, a journey on where I needed to go, but you see, on the way home, in my car, when I turned the radio on, there was a song on there from the announcer, and they said, and it was vodka and balconies. And it just seemed too chancy at the time, because I was drinking vodka all day, and the people that started, they were up on a balcony. And it was heavy metal. There's been a numerous amount of times, with the main one where there was a guy called Sam Simmons, and he had a radio show, and he labeled the main character. And the main character had the same name as me. And then he also had someone else in that show who had the same name as my father. And what gets even weirder is he had another character in that show who had the same name as my brother. Now, one of the names is quite uncommon, so it's pretty rare. So, is it plausible? Maybe I was transmitting my life and he was picking it up. Maybe there's more to that. But those events occur, they are real. You can look up that last radio station, it's quite clear. That last radio podcast. So you see, that is something that hasn't been proved. And it's been diagnosed by society as one thing. So we believe in it and then get fed pills. There are many possibilities that the mind can create. Are we our own movie stars? Are we all part of the 144,000? Has that doubled? Has that grown? What if it's more? What if the initial crew was 144,000? Just like the movie 300. It first started out as 300. But now there's, I don't know, however many there were. Let's say there's 100,000. So you take that concept, the 144,000 could now be 1.4 billion. Can you imagine 1.4 billion people all in that same mindset? It's a lot. So you can see why they want science to keep you locked down, to keep the mind in a way of belief. It's just that we haven't been taught many things that the mind can do. So it gets suppressed and blocked. It doesn't go away. It gets suppressed because they can't get rid of it. Because you're not supposed to. So, when you are listening, what is it? Why do you hear certain areas? Are you seeing life and reality for what it is? Is it a low vibration of fear? Possibly. Is it also a challenge for you to overcome and not let it affect you? That is more of a powerful outcome than any of them. So that shows growth. It's not removing the problem or not addressing it. It's acknowledging it and overcoming it. The mind is a powerful thing. Is it possible it can witness 3 or more realities at the same time? Yeah, why not? Doctor Strange did it in Marvel. He used a time stone. We look at these stones, the infinity stones, as things that give us great power. But you have to be a celestial to be able to hold it. It's rather interesting. It can be anything. Everything is there for us to understand, to find, to collaborate, to connect the dots. You can see positive in the wrong mindset, because you can see positive as taking down the suppressors or the people that done you wrong. And that's sort of that positive belief, but not next level. Next level is doing that, but also seeing yourself in a different way. Understanding that it exists so that you can see it, overcome it, and be the better part of it. And you can visually feel yourself going to that next level. It's not that you don't deal with it or accept it. No. You don't pass the information that's there. You learn it, you understand from it. You acknowledge it, you accept it. And by you surpassing it with your energy, it has no power. It has no belief. It is stuck there like tied to a pole. But it wants you to believe that you can't go past. Can you visualize it? We create everything. Minds create everything. Why don't you think it's possible? Why don't you think they're capable of doing that? Maybe you do. And if you do, how do you perceive it? Do you allow it to take you down the rabbit hole? Or do you fight it with courage and power and challenge and determination to not let it beat you? doesn't matter whether you look at it from a spiritual nature. If everything we do is not teaching us, guiding us, or helping us along the way, then what is it? And with that, peace and love, take care.